Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, hear me. Bloody motion controls. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. In the last episode, we came to Dark Ether, having got the Dark Beam in a... Well, that's the wrong bloody door I came through there. In an attempt to look for the final few Dark Temple keys for Dark Agon Wastes. If I use the word dark enough, I'm not entirely sure. This episode, so we've got one more Dark Key to get, and we also need to... figure out a way back out of Dark Ether once again. So here, you have two options. You can go through the Phazon pit, which can hurt like a bastard, but you are in a safe zone, so you will be healed constantly, so it doesn't hurt as much as you might think. Or you can just jump over it like that, and everyone's fine. Heading through, we enter a new area. Well, most areas are new right now, but this is the Phazon site. We take the lift down. There are three things we need to scan here. There's a door which has 3 locks on it specifically. Well, first thing first, I'm actually going to scan a dead pirate. Subject was caught in a Phazon explosion. The force of the explosion breached its armor, leaving it exposed to Phazon radiation and the toxic atmosphere of Dark Ether. It didn't live long after that. No, you wouldn't, because, yeah, poison atmosphere combined with highly mutagenic radioactive substance, not great. Anyway, first thing we need to do is hit that portal there, and then hop straight over a portal, safe zone. And straight over and behind these crates, is our first target, which is this security thing. Security system, I guess. One of 3 locks is offline. I feel like I'm going to respawn in dark nastiness because it was fading already when the cutscene started. Yep, absolutely. Doesn't pause it for me, bastardry. Anyway, the second one is we need to get over there. There's no real way to get... don't stand in the Phazon. Generally speaking, bad combination of, as it says, toxic atmosphere and toxic substance. If we scan another dead pirate here, subject has numerous fatal wounds in the back, all from space pirate weaponry. Such termination is often the punishment for cowardice among the space pirate commandos. Ah, yes, the old commissar of the Imperial Guard maneuver. Finally... I didn't bloody open the thing, did I? Oh, I'm an idiot. What I wanted to do over here was scan... Oh, bloody hell. What is that? Oh, that's the beacon that's in the way. Scan the second lock here to open it up. Oh, that sound effect... Ow. That sound effect was in Mass Effect... I keep nearly saying Mass Effect instead of Metroid Prime. That sound effect was in the first one. That... When you kind of undo one of multiple locks, and it sounds so good. I don't know where I really like it, but I do. Anyway, final one open. And then that opens the door itself, which lets us hop down and go through it. I kind of set that up to a comment that wasn't particularly exciting. Now here, we have a couple of new things here. We have a dark crystal. If you haven't, a nullified crystal even, if you haven't already hit one with the dark beam yourself, that one is like pre-nullified for you by the creatures in here. There's also a new type of creature, which is an Inclaw. Toxin-spewing immobile darkling. Target surrounded by impenetrable shell. Produces deadly vapor. Just, don't get too close. The classics. Actually getting through this area is pretty straightforward. There's unseen things spitting dark energy at us, which are what's nullified the crystal, and there's not much we can do about, that. So, just move through and into the feeding pit. Oh yes. So, this is bioenergy production. This is the place with the Metroids feeding off the dude in the light world, but here it's more of a spooky area, as everything is in Spooky Ether, where we are at the moment. These things are night barbs, a flying airborne hunter native to Dark Ether. Targets are small, but travel around in large numbers for safety. Avoid contact. Shoot as many of them as you can. It's kind of like... sandflyers or whatever they were called. Sandbats, were they? That have... Oh, shit. Have another couple of shots of them. And... Can I... No, I'm not in the right position yet. You'll see why it's important to kill them in just a second. If we head round to here, where this door that we can't open yet is, fire up the dark beam, because up there is a lift crystal. Hit it with the dark beam, and it drops down and spawns a safe zone on the top, which is very nice of it. What we want to do is... head now over here to this crystal. I was nearly very close. I was like, I was sure for a moment that I wasn't on the power beam, that I was on the dark beam, and I just nullified this fucking crystal, thus making a twat of myself in the process. Hit the second lift crystal here, and that one also drops and throws up a safe zone. And this is why I wanted to get rid of the night barbs, because jumping from this platform to that platform went either... Oh! Yes, the water in here is also very unpleasant, so you get the double effect of Dark Aether's atmosphere fucking you up, and also Dark Aether's water double fucking you up. Yes, this jump from one to the other, as you saw, even with only like 3 night barbs circling, was apparently still enough to fuck me over, not again. What are the goddamn chances? This is bullshit. Get out of the water, there we go. Right. Ah! Right, okay, let's just rest. Let's not rest outside of safe zones, actually. I'm going to shoot every fucking night barb I can. There's literally only one there. I'm going to hit it. It's going to hit me again. Ooh! I was so sure. So goddamn sure. Right. Through this dark door is something extremely useful. This has been hinted at, like, really heavily over the last few episodes, but, you know, it's here anyway. The dead Luminoth here that's been dead for 1.2 decacycles shows signs of phazon radiation poisoning and extreme exposure to Dark Aether's atmosphere. All gear and weapons have been removed from the target. And we have acquired the Light Beam. Yes, everything that's talking about dark and light energy is no surprise. The Light Beam, much like the Dark Beam, has ammunition. It's activated by going into the bottom right area of the beam selection screen, and functions very similarly to the Plasma Beam. Well, it's weird, so it physically extends the arm cannon out to the sides, like the Wave Beam does, but it behaves more like the Plasma Beam, and it does fire damage and such. Has another couple of useful things. As the game is telling us here, defeat enemies with the Light Beam to earn Dark Beam to earn Light Ammo, and the Light Beam to earn Dark Ammo. It's a nice way to make sure you never really run out of beam ammo, is just make sure you defeat enemies with the opposite beam to the one you want. So at the moment we have 49 light ammo and only 21 dark ammo, so use the beam for which you have the most ammo and you will regenerate ammo for the beam you don't have the most ammo with, which is great. As you may have noticed as well, since we can nullify light crystals with dark beams, we can also supercharge them with the light beam. So this is an energized crystal, which means that it generates an enhanced field of light energy, which provides better protection from Dark Aether's denizens. Dark creatures are damaged by the energized field. It doesn't actually heal you any faster, but yes, the energization is very handy. Equally, down here we have a beacon. Same thing, we'll scan that as well. So yes, enemies that go into those areas when they've been charged by a light beacon, by a light beam blast, actually take damage, which is great. Notice that one is surrounded by dark... Are they dark Lumites or are they just regular Lumites? They're regular Lumites. One of very few enemies you see normally on both light and dark ether. But we'll head in here and heal a little bit. And while we're here, if you destroy... There you go. So you see that there is light ammo. If you move towards it, it comes towards you automatically. If we destroy blade pods with the light beam, they'll spit out dark ammo. Generally, as it said, defeating enemies with the dark beam earns light ammo and the light beam earns dark ammo. But even better than that often is destroying blade pods, which counts as defeating an enemy. So there we've liberated a nice bit of dark ammo again, which is great. Now we want to take, as you no doubt saw here is a light door. Take that, and we can enter a new area. This thing is a new creature. It's a Webling, which is a Darkling capable of generating and energizing a tensile biomaterial. Creature is immobile and immune to most weapons. The light beam will be able to disrupt and destroy the target. Man, it's not even saying. The creature doesn't like light, it's saying directly shoot it with a light beam. Well, if you're going to be that direct, I guess I have no other choice. You also will have noticed it said up to now a lot of Ing-based enemies are freaked out by, it's like dislikes bright lights. So for those ones, energized crystals and the light beam itself are super powerful. Anyway, here we want to go through, there's this dark door up here. Head through it and we reach an area called, oh, that's a dark splinter, interesting. Well, let's energize this. If he comes at me, he will die. He's not even going to dare. See, that's the thing. Any ones that are already in the zone will be freaked out, will be killed by it. Any ones that are outside of it, Darklings just won't enter it. It freaks them out too much. They're not. It's nice to see they're not stupid. They're not just going to like walk into a zone that's going to murder the shit out of them, which is quite cool. Anyway, since we're in this area, let's actually just heal up quickly. God, there's a really sinister wet munching sound in the background, which we will, don't worry, identify in due time. But for now, due course even, not due time, I don't think that's a phrase. But for now, we'll enter an area that is completely non-ominously called the Battleground. Fortunately, we don't have to do anything in the Battleground, we can just grab the Dark Key. Yes, it's never quite that simple, is it? Scan this thing on the door. It's called an ing web trap, and I believe this is one of very few, if not the only one in the game. I can't think of when there are any more, so certainly scan it now. Semi-sentient living snares. The creature is virtually indestructible and can only be undone by killing the ing that commands it. So, we're surrounded by a lot of warrioring, but fortunately we have an advantage now in the form of the Dark Beam. Not Dark Beam, even Light Beam. Dark Beam is powerful, but obviously the Light Beam... Well, I was going to say a charge shot from the Light Beam will kill a warrior ring in one, but apparently not. Worth noting as well, the area you're in, despite being a safe zone, there is no visible beacon that generates it, which is presumably so you can't supercharge, energize it, which is a bit of a shame, because that would be great fun to do. As you can see, the charged version of the beam requires 5 ammunition, which means you do burn through them fairly quickly. I don't want to risk wasting it on one when it's not fully materialized yet. There we go. And there's one over here. I'm actually going to switch to the Dark Beam a bit and just break some of these blade pods and hopefully liberate... Ooh, a good... The thing is, yeah, so the Dark Beam, by the way, actually notice there, still totally very effective against these guys. The Dark Beam is powerful, nonetheless. It's just not, like... In Pokemon terms, it's a strong attack, it's just not super effective. Oh god, there's even more of them. Well, we got 50 light ammo back by destroying blade pods, so both of them are over there in bubbles, and now they split. Wonderful. Oh, there you go, hello. Goodbye. And this final one here. Melt! God, they just keep coming, don't they? Well, at least, fuck off. They are much easier to fight, obviously, once you have the Light Beam. And also, this is what I'm saying about Dark Ether. I'm like, here, we're in a safe zone, so we're like completely fine. And not only, we're healing. Like, by standing here, we are actively healing. So it's like, when you're out of Dark, like, I suppose this is the whole point of it. Once you're out of safe zones, Dark Ether will fuck you. But in a lot of ways, there's our third and final Dark Agon Temple key. Yeah, in a lot of ways, like, it's easier than fighting a boss in Ether because... as long as you're standing in one of these zones, you're actually healing, which is great. Anyway, we can now return back along not quite the way we came. So if we go this lower way, I'm going to cross this area first, because there's a beacon on the other side, and from the safety of the beacon, I'm going to scan a new enemy. This is a Darkling Tentacle, this was, making that wet squelching sound I was talking about. Darkling Dimension Warping Ing Tendril. Darkling will open warps and attempt to grapple enemy targets. Dislikes bright light. That's a bit creepy. There's possibly some larger creature that's just poking a tendril through into this dimension, which is one of those things that's just, you know, better not to waste too much time thinking about, because otherwise, yeah. Anyway, so from here we now, if you bring up the map, we need to return to the Dark Oasis. Back here, I pointed this out last episode, we have a light rift, which if we hit it with the light beam, we'll re-energize it. Have I scanned a light portal? Yes, I have. Have I? Yep, there we go. Let's head back to Light Ether. It is, I say this every time, it's really nice to be somewhere where the air doesn't kill you. So, I was just checking the map to see where we were. I need to head down this way. We need to head all the way back to everyone's favourite location. I seem to have spent a disproportionate of time there. The biostorage station. So here are 2 new scans. You can get these at other points during the game. This is just a nice point to grab them. Number 1 is a Metroid cocoon. Encouraging thing to hear, definitely. Storage chamber for young Talon Metroids. Biomass to support Talon Metroid infants. Lacks armor or shielding. Wonderful, let's destroy it. Taking quite a few hits from the power beam to say it lacks armor or shielding. But I'd hate to see Metroid things that do have armor or shielding. Is that it destroyed? Nope, still going. Well, I can hear also the little bastards around somewhere. Here we go. Here are infant Talon Metroids. Genetically engineered parasites. Ramming attack will do minor damage. Exposure to Phazon will mutate them into a deadly version. Don't let that happen, but I'm not even going to bother fighting them. Let's head back to the command chamber. I'm not even going to bother cutting because I was literally... Ow, ow, ow. Just there. Ow. And now we have a nice, easier way out of the command chamber because we now have access to the light beam. I'm going to ignore the space pirates here entirely. Actually, no, I'm not because... Ow! I think I have no chance other than to go straight past this one. Hello! Goodbye. Now we have the light beam. We can hop over here. God, I'm normally not a fan of motion controls, but the aiming is, of course, really nice in this, and I do really like it. And on top of that, like the kind of switching things where I'm like, oh, power beam, scan visor. Okay, I missed the scan visor, but I'm like, kind of dark beam. It actually works really much more naturally than I ever expected it would. So, we're now in this area, but we're up on top. Do you remember these turrets? Turns out, they work both ways. So, we can gain control of the turret, look around with the control stick, and fire with B. There's a reactor down there that we hit, which is very nice, and there's another reactor over there. Once you've destroyed both, you understandably piss off some space pirates. Our health of our turret is up there in the top right. There's one final thing to destroy, which I believe I already have done. If I haven't already, fire a shot over there or two. Yeah, we've destroyed it. Cool, I'll deal with that in a second. Once you've taken out the pirates, A will get you out of the turret. And now we have this platform here. And this platform is crucial because this allows us access to the upper area. So we can now go over here and up here, and now we're at this area behind the second reactor we destroyed there. If we scan this pirate log, we get a bit of pirate lore. 2 hunters. Another hunter wearing the traditional colours of Samus Aran made planetfall today. Horrific as it may sound, there are now 2 of them. We are bracing for a new assault. This dire turn of events may bear some goodwill. One of our scouts in Dark Aether saw a curious encounter. The Dark Hunter attacked the one clad as Samus near a Phazon site. Perhaps they are not allies, but foes. Perhaps we can forge an alliance with this Dark Hunter. An exchange. Phazon for the head of our common enemy. Well, that's what they were describing was Episode 1's event when we went in there and the Ing robbed a load of our shit. Technician report. The wind energy systems are online. I managed to build a modest supply of reserve power, but I doubt it'll last. All of these trips to the Dark World are taking a huge toll on the energy supply. We'll see how they feel about these stupid expeditions when the cooling system shuts off and the power latrines go offline. Latrine is a fancy word for toilet, for those who don't know, and I have no idea what a power latrine is, but the mind reels, truly. Analysis complete. Space Pirate Defense Shield is active. Shield was taken from the wreckage of a Space Pirate starship. It is impervious to your weaponry. It's not impervious for a fucking little hole going around the side. 2 things of use here. Number 1 is this thing. A beam ammo expansion. So that's another type of thing for the visualizer. It's one of the 3 bars on the top there, I suppose. It's the topmost of the 3 bars. It's still the first night. I haven't actually finished my design for the visualizer yet, and this is still the same night in which I recorded episode 1, so I haven't finalised the look of it, but I'm pretty sure it's the topmost of the 3 bars up there. No, it's not, because the topmost one will be energy tank, so it'll be the secondmost one. The bottom one we won't get for quite some time. But anyway, that increases our maximum dark and light beam ammo by 50, which is really nice, so both have a maximum of 100 now. Very handy for going forwards. And there is also another key bearer. Our first key bearer was in episode 3, was it? It was just on the way over to Agon. But here, this is Jaistel's testament. My journey comes to an end. The thrice-cursed Ing prepared an ambush of singular cunning in the mining station. They caught me in it like a neophyte fresh from the training halls. I have sent 5 score of their number to whatever foul pit they call afterlife, but in vain. My life is extinguished. Again, you will note that one of the words it said was in red. Do bear that in mind for the future. And I'm meaning like 20 episodes in the future, but still, handy to know. Anyway, we're done here for now, so let's travel back to Agon Temple. Now here we have 2 doors we couldn't use before. If I bring up the map, you will see there's a dark door to the left and a light door to the right. Neither of which we had access to before, but now we have the power of both beams. Oh, and there's war wasps here now by the sound of it. No one explains how they got here from Talon 4. One of the more annoying creatures in Metroid Prime 1. They used to freak me out as a kid when I played Metroid Prime. War Wasps used to scare me, because that hive totem thing, you know, the first boss in Metroid Prime. Ugh. Anyway, here we get into quite a complicated area. This is the mine shaft. It's not as complex as it seems. So, what I am going to do here is as complex as it seems. We want to do a double jump with the morph ball bombs. Lay one bomb, and you'll jump in the air. If you lay a second bomb in midair, were you to land on that at the right time, you would launch up. There's a very specific rhythm for doing a double jump, which is A, A, A. And basically what that means is the first one jumps you, then the second one you place just before you go up will launch you up in time to hit the third one. There you go. See how it works? If you don't, well, you'll get used to it with time. These platforms we're standing on disappear with time, but not much time, but if you hold left, you end up in this kind of middle area here. From where I am here, oh, bloody hell. You want to go about where I am now, a little bit more to the left. Come on, tease it, there we go. Jump and hold left. And you'll head up here and grab the energy tank. That was much easier than I was expecting. Usually that one takes me about 20 minutes to get. That's a really tough jump. Clearly, I'm better than I think. That doesn't normally happen, especially when I'm recording, especially when I'm drinking while recording. Which I am, lightly, because I've learned my lessons from Donkey Kong Jungle Beat of what happens if I drink an entire bottle of gin in one recording thing. Not only does the game get harder, but also as you get drunker, the game doesn't exactly get easier in tandem. So tonight I've only had 2 shots of Fireball and 4 beers. But over the course of, how long have I been recording? 3 hours 31. Oh, I don't want to come down here. Yeah, I had a point which I want to get to by the end of the night, and it's going to be next episode. So, yes. But it's a thing I'm really trying to balance at the moment, is energy levels versus efficiency. We're in a cool area here. This is the Sand Canyon. Can't do much here other than fire ourselves straight through there and over to the other side of the Sand Canyon. Through here, we then get to another morph ball area here. What we want to do here, I'll finish this story in a second, is the second pill bug here. Defeat it. And then once again, double jump up. Oh, balls, that one up. A. There we go. Oh, no, balls. No, what was I going to say? Yeah, as I've done more Let's Playing, I've got better at being able to do longer sessions and kind of maintaining my energy levels. Because before it was like, I'd want to... missile expansion. I would want to do kind of longer sessions, because I was like, I want to record as many episodes as possible, but my energy would just start flagging, and that's so visible in my commentary, and it really does depend on the game whether you can physically do that or not. Some games just, it doesn't work well doing long recording sessions, something like Mass Effect or whatever, when you're kind of cutting a lot, but something like this or Darksiders, where you're not actually cutting a huge amount in the early game, works quite well for it, and I am getting better at that as it goes on, so that's always a nice thing. Anyway, final thing to do now is we've basically got everything we can get for now. We've got the 3 dark keys. Ironically, we are where we need to be, but in the wrong dimension, because we need to bring those 3 keys to the dark Agon Temple. So let's head to the portal terminal. And from here, no surprises as to what we're doing. So, this episode, we've gathered the remaining dark keys for Dark Agon Temple, as well as gathering the light beam. Next episode, we'll be opening the way through to Agon Temple, Dark Agon Temple, with the hope of stealing... Oh, bloody hell, bloody thing's closed. With the hope of taking the energy from Dark Agon Temple and returning it over to Light Agon Temple, and starting to restore balance on Ether. By balance, I mean not balance. I mean tilting everything over to the light side. Thank you very much, and good day.